I believe that this is recording. It looks like it's telling me that it's live here in the Supply Chainies studio. And this will be the first attempt at a weekly supply chain events update live type of deal. Um, this is something that I've been doing for a number of months. I don't know, maybe we call it 6 months that I've been pre-recording what's going to happen in the next week or the next month or the next quarter in the supply chain space. And just seeing that everyone is doing live streaming and it seems kind of fun and want to try to be more engaging with the community. So just giving this a try, live streaming to the Supply Chainy YouTube page as well as my personal LinkedIn page. And we'll see if someone hops in and chats or hops in on the video feed here as a co-host. So let's get this started. What I've done is tried to set up my screen here to be able to share my screen, the entire screen. Let's see how this goes. Is it going to let me do the whole enchilada? Yeah, I think it will. And so from here, we're going to just scroll through and take a look at the calendar of events, talk a little about what's coming up and whatnot. So I think that the view here should be showing kind of the agenda for the video today here on the left side. And on the right side will be my screen that is showing what we're going to be checking out. So before we start and go too much further, just want to do a quick shout out to CSCMP for being one of the sponsors for this calendar of events. Um, I will highlight just real quick that they have come out with a generative AI for supply chain professional certificate. It's on LinkedIn Learning. Checking out the page here, there's 4 hours and 48 minutes worth of content to go through. You'll recognize some of the names of the folks that are presenters for it. And by the end of this, you come out the other end with a professional certificate. So kudos to CSCMP for putting this together. And hopefully someone out there can find some value in it, help them figure out how to use AI for their supply chain. Going back to the agenda here, what are some things that happened last week? Well, one cool thing was that on my profile here on LinkedIn, I was able to kind of pass the 7,000 follower mark. And while I realize that's not very much for those folks that have 70,000 or 170,000 followers, for me, it's just been fun to kind of engage with the supply chain community and be able to build something in the supply chain space and appreciate all the support from everyone as trying to just provide value out there. So, and the more folks that I can provide value to, the warmer and fuzzier I feel about what I'm trying to accomplish. So thanks everybody. Um, let's see what else happened last week. Well, I think that anyone that was following Sophia could see that there was a lot going on at the Logistics World Summit. I believe that was in Mexico City. So Sophia's got a bunch of content. It looks like she was doing some interviews and podcasts, jumping into foam pits and that sort of deal there. So that looked like the event to be at if you were in Mexico last week. So shout out to the Logistics World Summit and Expo there. The other thing that happened last week was my friend Ben had his first live event at his sort of startup, the Warehouse Underground. And in order to participate in that, you had to like kind of sign up to be a member of the Warehouse Underground. And I, at the moment, had a schedule conflict, so wasn't able to join in. But if you go to his profile, you'll be able to see he posted up some video screenshots and video captures of what the event was like. It seemed a little bit like kind of like a panel discussion where you could see everyone's cameras and you could have a speaker. I believe the speaker was Adrian from Expander. Adrian and Ben are both frequenters of Supply Chain Social Club events, so shout out to them for getting that going last week. Let's talk a little about now what's coming up soon, and I'll just do a quick little pitch for the Supply Chain Social Club. We've got a pretty packed April. So on the 16th, we've got our next edition of the Warehousing After Dark event that is put on and co-hosted with Kevin Lawton from the New Warehouse. On the 25th, we've got the Global Trade Cafe, where I partner with ICPA and Benita Lee and Lila Landis. and we kind of talk about what's going on in the world of tariffs and compliance, and that's kind of a big it's kind of a big topic these days. And then for the first time ever, we're rolling out our very first edition of the Source, which is going to be on April 29th, again at the Supply Chain Social Club. And that is going to be the event that's targeted and kind of curated for procurement and sourcing professionals and the solutions providers in that community to all kind of come together and talk about procurement and sourcing. And that is going to be kind of co-hosted along with my friend Uma Taylor, that's down in Houston. And looking forward to seeing a bunch of folks from that community. And then lastly, for the late night freight and the revenue roundtable, which we're partnered up with Broker Carrier Summit and TMSA, we're doing a bit of a joint event to bring everyone together. For those folks that can't be at the TIA conference going on in San Antonio this week, we're going to have a bit of a virtual version of that instead at the Supply Chain Social Club. And it also happens to sync up with the NCB FAA event that is happening this week as well. So we're going to open that up for those folks as well. Basically, just making it an event for the people not at the big events going on this week. Supply Chain Social Club, if you haven't been kind of checking in recently, we've just recently gone to a totally free model for all attendees. So we used to charge just a little bit to get in the door. Now it is free for everybody. We're just trying to, again, build that community, build the awareness, and connect people in the supply chain. All the times that you see here are Central Time. And also, this is virtual. It's a pretty sweet sort of interface that allows you to grab your own beverage at your own house with your house shoes on and join in and not have to go anywhere to see what's going on in the world and meet other people and grow your business and grow your networks. So would invite everyone to join in there. I think that takes care of us for the Supply Chain Social Club. Moving along here, just a quick look at the Supply Chain Podcast, what's going on. This past week, we had Mike Ernst, who is the president of Expedite All. And coming up this next week, we've got Dale Walsh with RoboWorks, and also Caleb and Parker, who are two students from Appalachian State University. Both of them are part of the supply chain program there. And that is going to be part of our future Voices of Supply Chain series. And both of those podcasts are coming out this week. Next week, let's go take a look at the big old calendar and see what's going on the rest of this week and throughout the rest of the month. So we've got the NCB FAA, which stands for the National Customs Brokers and Forwarders Association of America. I think it might be the only association that has more letters in its name than CSCMP does, maybe. So that's going on out in Phoenix from April 6th to April 9th. And then we've got the Incisive Partner event going on here in Dallas on the 8th. And then, as I mentioned a while ago, the TIA Capital Ideas Conference is taking place in San Antonio this week, starting on Wednesday the 9th. Going out to the East Coast, the CSCMP South Carolina Roundtable is having an event on the 10th. And then there's that event that we're going to have at the Supply Chain Social Club for the non-attendees of the big events this week. Come stop by and hang out with all the other folks that are virtually connecting. On the 12th, ASCM is having an instructor-led certified in planning and inventory management CPIM course going on the 12th. On the 15th, ISM Fort Worth is having their monthly meeting dinner, and they're going to have a guest speaker, Amanda Prochaska, who's going to talk about change management. She seems like a really great speaker and really well connected in the procurement and sourcing space. It's got her own business called Wonder Services. So encourage you all. That's going to be an in-person event in downtown Fort Worth. Then on the 16th, we've got the Warehousing After Dark going on at the Supply Chain Social Club. And on the 17th, the Transportation Club of DFW is having a social at Crush It, which is like one of those video screen sort of places where you can play golf and throw fake axes and play baseball and stuff, but with a screen. So that'll be taking place on Thursday the 17th. Scooting through the rest of the month, we've got Break Bulk and Project Cargo going on in New Orleans, the Global Trade Cafe at Supply Chain Social Club. Toward the end of the month, we've got National Postal Forum going on in Nashville, the NAFA Institute and Expo in Long Beach, the ACT Expo, which is kind of like, I think is like a air quality and clean sort of transportation focused event going on in Anaheim, starting on April 28th. And then kind of bringing in the caboose here is the Broker Carrier Summit kicking off on April 29th in Indianapolis. And I've been seeing lots of publicity and promotion for that event. So that looks like it should be a great success. Dan's been doing a good job with that organization and building that community. Um, Lastly, here on just next week's, I would just kind of point you toward if you are in a major city that has a CSCMP roundtable, they've got this link here to all of their events. So you've got like there's a new Newark Airport FedEx facility tour taking place this week on Thursday. There's some trade and tariff events going on. Dallas is kind of pitching in on that ISM Fort Worth event with Amanda. Everyone's just doing a bit, and I guess one more here. Cincinnati is doing a airport tour as well. Seems like maybe it's the season for airport tours out there right now. So if you want to go check that out, that's on CSCMP's website with lots of events going on at the various roundtables throughout the U.S. So I'm going to stop presenting here, get back to the main screen, and check out all of the folks that are watching in live, which is 0 right now. So that looks promising. It's a really good low bar to start with. Means everything else from here on out should go really, really well. So this kind of wraps it up for this week's events update for what's going on in the supply chain world. Looking forward to giving this a try next week, seeing if this live recording format works or if it's a flop and I should go back to just doing pre-recorded and editing and posting. So we'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Also, if there is events that are taking place out there that we didn't cover that are not on the events calendar, uh, please let me know so we can get them on, or hop into the chat and let us know what's going on in the comments and put a link to your event. So for those of you all that are out there traveling to grow your business or grow your networks, just last sort of sign off words here is be safe and have fun out there.